Hey y'all, it's Felicia. Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm gonna tell you a bit about extending. It's something that us au pairs gets to do after our first year. And I asked you some questions on my Instagram, and this is what you wanted to know. So let's get started. So the first question is, do you already have a new family, and where are you going to live now? So I already found my family. Like for my first year, I was like 9 months in advance when I found my first family, and now I was like 6 or 5 months kind of. And I'm going to live in South Carolina in Charleston, so I'm really excited for that because it's gonna be so different from here. It's gonna be sad leaving this place, but I'm really excited to start a new experience. Is the insurance within the price for the extension when you're with cultural care? So when I applied, you had to pay extra for the insurance at first, but now I don't know if they are doing it like forever now or if it's just like a one period thing. But right when I started with the extension application, they took away, so they kind of give you the insurance so you don't have to pay it, so it's already like added to your account and your insurance list, so it already says like you have your insurance from when you came to when your last day after your extension part, so I didn't have to pay for it. So this question is in Swedish, but I'm gonna translate it into English. So it is, can you take care of babies even though you haven't done so we have a program in Sweden called like Kids in Free Time, kind of. I don't know what we call it. But you basically learn about kids. But if you want to go right after high school. So I did not go that program, but I left 3 days after I graduated, and I still got to take care of a baby because I have over 200 hours of childcare with kids under the age of 2. So if you want to take care of babies as an au pair, then you need to gather up your hours, and you need 200 hours or more, like babysitting kids that are under 2 years old. That's how you're able to take care of babies that are younger. Does it have any cost to extend? Do you have to take the test to get a driver's license? So you have to pay $395 to extend. It's like an extension fee, it's called. They do have this extend now, pay later, so you don't pay until you find your host family. And if you are going to drive in your second year, you need a US driver's license because your international driver's license is expiring by the time your first year ends. So if you're gonna drive, then you need to get the American driver's license, which I had to do because I didn't know that. I was like, I'm just gonna get it in my second year. But that's not how it works. So you need to get the driver's license, the US driver's license, in your first year to be able to drive in your second year. I didn't have to do the driving test, I just had to do the written test since I already have a driver's license, I guess. And then kind of with that question, did your host parents pay for your extension fee? That's your price to pay, kind of. It sounds harsh, but it's something you need to pay unless the family wants to pay for you if you stay with the same. But it's nothing they have to do. It's you should pay it. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, this one is kind of is a pretty good question. If you love your host family but you want to extend somewhere else, how do you tell them? So if your reason to extend somewhere else is because you want to see more, you want to gain more experience, then that's what you should tell them, that I love you and this is really hard for me, but I want to be able to get as much experience as possible, and I want to travel more. So you just tell them the truth, pretty much. Like, you want to see more places, you want to get more experience, and tell them that like it's nothing about you, it's just I want to see as much as possible that I can do when I'm here. Do you have to go home to your home country and renew your visa? If you're planning on traveling outside the US borders and somewhere else besides the just Islands, I can't pronounce that, then you have to go in, we're talking extension year here, then you would have to go first to your home country, renew your visa, and then you're able to travel like you could in your first year. Since your visa expires on the day, your last day here, you're still granted the extension if you apply, but you're not allowed to go outside the borders. That means you can't leave the country during your second year unless you go to your home country to renew your visa, which I'm not, because I'm scared I'm not gonna get it back in time, and I don't want to have to say goodbye to my family again. So I'm just staying here and not leaving the US territory, kind of. Is it true that cultural care kind of try to force you to extend? In my opinion, I don't think so, because they just want to know, there's deadlines, and they just want to know if you're extending, so all the paperwork, all the government stuff can be processed in time. So they might be a little bit, okay, we need you to decide and blah blah, but that's only because they want all the papers to be processed in time. It's not because they want to nag at you. They want to be able to process everything in time for you so that there's no trouble or struggle with it. So I wouldn't say that they're trying to force you. It's totally up to you. If you don't want to extend, then fine. You don't have to if you don't want to. How did your host family bring up the extension topic? So I was the one who brought it up, because my LCC said that if you want to find a new family, then you might as well start early so that you have time, and that will give them time too. So I explained to them what I answered, like pretty much what I said in the previous question about when you love your host family and want to extend somewhere else. Blah, blah, blah. Do you receive another 2 paid travel weeks for the new year? So you have 2 weeks of paid vacation in your first year. If you extend 1 year or 9 months, I think, you get another 2 weeks. But if you extend for 6 months, then you get 1 week of paid vacation. For you, what is the best to extend with the same family or another family? So for me personally, I wanted to get as much experience as possible. That's why I chose to extend with another family with older kids. So now I have 3 kids that are 1, 3, and 5. When I move, I will have 2 kids that are 8 and 10. So they will be at school all day. And so the schedule and everything will be different, and I will also get to see a different part of America, and that's kind of why I wanted to why I chose to go somewhere else. How long did you choose to extend? 12 months. Can you adjust your cultural care account, the letter, the photos, information? So you get to add like an extension application. This application, you write a new letter, you add some new photos, tell more about your new experience, and you can send in if there's something you want to change. Since I wanted to find a family with older kids, I sent in that I wanted to change the age. So I went into my profile and clicked change and sent in the request, and then sent in what I wanted to change. Was it a hard choice to extend? I guess for me it wasn't. I kind of knew before I came here that I wanted to extend, especially like somewhere else, because I wanted to see different places. So I kind of knew from the start that I wanted to extend, go to 2 different families so that I could see the difference and learn more about the American culture and different families and lifestyles and all that. Okay, this is another one in Swedish, but I'll translate it. Did you talk to all host families that were interested in you? So I started my application like 6 months in advance again, because I wanted to make sure that I had time to find a really good family again, so that it wouldn't like feel like I just had to get some family. So I didn't really talk to all of them because I had so much time, and I was like, I'm gonna allow myself to be a bit picky, because like I know what I want. I know what I want different from this family. I know what I want to be kind of the same. So I tried to like look through their profiles and see if they were interesting, and if they weren't, then like if the kids were young again, I was like, no, I know that I want older kids, so all the people that the families that have younger kids, I wouldn't really talk to them because I knew that I didn't want younger kids again. Okay, so I have some similar questions about when you need to take the decision and what the deadlines are. So when you start finding your family is about 6 to 5 months left. The extension team reaches out to you to see if you want to extend, and I think, so I haven't been through it, so this is what they told me, since I was pretty early with my extension. But they tell you get an email saying, okay, so you've been here for 6-7 months now, and here's a test to see if you want to extend. It's like a kind of like, are you fitted to become an au pair test, kind of, but if you have, like, do you want to stay, do you want to explore more, do you want to gain more experience, and so on. So you kind of do one of those tests if you want. That's what my friend got. So that is like 6-7 months into your year, and then the deadline for submitting your online application is 76 days before your au pair term ends. But I started earlier so that I would have more time and all of that jazz. Okay, this one is kind of like after your extension. Do you already know what you want to do when you're back home? So I kind of have started to think about this, and I'm leaning towards, I'm definitely gonna get a job like as soon as I get home. And I'm thinking about applying for a job at the hospital because I'm an undersköterska, is it what it's called in Swedish? It's kind of like the profession below nurse, which they don't have in America. But I'm that, and then I'm gonna apply for a job. Hopefully, I would really love to work at like the children's ward or children's part of the hospital, since then I would get to work with kids still. Okay, so that was pretty much all the questions, and I hope I could answer it as well as you wanted me to answer it. Anyways, that was all for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. And if you want to get notified, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get a notification every time I post, then hit the little bell beside it and you will get notified whenever I post. And don't forget, new videos coming out every Thursday, so stay tuned. I hope to see you next week. Bye. Peace out.